Hi, my name is Junchen Lai. I am doing the final project demo for the electricity consumption analysis using Apache Spark. Without further ado, let's get into it. So the project background is as a natural gas pipeline company, we have a storage cabin where we store gas inside of it. So we are shifting away from fuel pumps and compressors. We have started using more and more of electricity compressor. Those compressor stations operate continuously when our users, our customers, the nomination so they can inject gas into those storage. So we have to operate almost continuously, and it consume large amounts of electricity. But as a business, our organization or the compressor station is built based on the maximum peak usage per year. So what it does is, if you go over your electricity plan, whatever day you have the highest of electricity usage, that's gonna be applied throughout the entire year to calculate that bill. So identifying and reducing those peak spikes can significantly lower our cost. So gets into the data sources. We have batch of data of the readings. That's the main source where it has reading ID and station ID, which is gonna tie and identify the actual station info. And we have timestamp of that reading was recorded and the actual readings from the electricity. Going back to the station info data, it has station ID, station name, and the peak usage, which is the electricity plan of the highest it needs to go to. Anything goes over that, it's gonna be considered as a violation. That's gonna increase our bill for the entire year. And they have a number of compressors in that station info as well. So the data collection overview, we collected for 5 compressor stations. We're collecting readings every minute, and then the range is from January 1st to June 1st. So that's about 1,000 minutes per day and about 150 days. And we have 5 stations, so we have about 1 million, a little over 1 million of total readings in our data set. For the technology selection, even though the time the data comes in a batch form, it's not like a high frequency data inputs, right? But the data set's quite large, like 1 million plus. So this is like ideal for distributed processing. So like Spark, which is like perfectly to handle that with large batch ETL and data transformation, and we can join in like wide data sets like what we're talking about. Like the readings have millions of records, and then we can aggregate those millions of record together. So this is definitely faster than the traditional tools when working with like big batches of data and computing. On our analysis objective, right, we're trying to determine how many readings exceeded of the plan, like per station, and then we can identify like who has the highest violation. So that's where we can actually the business can look into the operation team and kind of optimize their operation or have any other plan to uh, elevate their electricity. Maybe if we have more time, I could analyze like the average consumption patterns. So if a station has 4 compressors, this is the pattern we're looking at, how much they will consume. Maybe when it comes to next year, we can the business can argue with the electricity bill company to have the plan adjusted, right, based on how we operate. And then probably can highlight some other opportunity to reduce the peak spikes by adopting new procedures in the field. So the peak violation logic is quite straightforward, right? So the violation is when your reading is like higher than your electricity plan, which is the peak usage kilowatts for that station. And then using Spark, we can compute like the total number of violations per station and the highest recorded violation. So anything, the max rating above the peak, so that we can see how that one peak can affect like the entire year of the bill. So those metrics help identifying which stations exceed their threshold most often and which one hits the most severe spikes. And then we can like starts optimizing either in the operations or we get a different bill or electricity bill company, right? So the business impact is quite straightforward. Like electricity is billed by based on the highest spike, right? So even just reduce like a single spike, like slightly or a little bit, it's gonna help with the entire year. So it's gonna significantly lower the annual cost. And then we can get more insights, right? Like how to reschedule compressor operations. Maybe we foresee in the summer there's like a high usage. People starts trying to all inject gas in it, or like before winter, like everybody start taking the gas out. We can see that, and then we can like start like prepping it or bringing in more pumps, more compressor with fuel to help to bring down the electricity bill. So yeah, or we can load balance it to like a nearby station, so we don't pump into that one cabin. Maybe there's a nearby station we with lower usage, we pump into that cabin, and then or we evaluate any operational changes during the peak hour by spread it out into multiple days or bring in additional fuel pumps. All right, now let me get into our actual project. Oh, here we go. So we have our station info. Um, so we have station ID, station name, peak usage, and number of electricity compressors. So we have one is burn. This is its peak usage. It has three compressor, and there's Delmon, Heat, Opalesis, and Uniontown. Okay. Now readings we have it from record one all the way to a little bit over $1 million. Okay, records. And then this is our Scala. Here, what it does is reads the files. We already loaded into the HDFS. And then, as I was showing earlier, how it's separated. So it breaks it into and load it. And then now we join it based on the station ID. And then if there's any no value, we handle that. And then we find the violation. And then that's where we aggregate it to get the count and then get the max reading. Then we get out of it. So let's see if I can bring up the result. Or let me bring out the terminal. So as you can see, before I submit it, so I compiled the package and I did it locally. And then as the Spark is running, we get the result. So here's our count of violations and the highest rating. And here's their station information and their peak plan. And as you can see, the job is successfully completed. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's my project for the uh, electricity consumption analysis using Apache Spark. Thank you for viewing.